the other exercise, and you've probably done this with me before, is if you just find a good solid 70-30, and I'll stand sideways. So in my mind's eye, I've imagined that axle now is slid over, is falling through the front fold of my hip. So 100% of the vertical flow is 70% forward. So then when I want to go backwards, this is the trick. I'm not going to change my body at all. I don't want to change this framework at all. Right? So as in my mind's eye, I want to feel that axle slide back. So I become like 70% back. And don't change. Just feel the pull of it. Then go 70 back to the front. 70 in the back. It's hard to do without moving, right? 70 in the front. So then you can get to where you get used to feeling that pull. 70 in the back, you feel a little pulling, but you're not doing anything about it. 70 in the front, relax to the front, right? So that's a good practice, is to isolate that central axis. So within 70-30, you can move it forward and back and feel the pull. So that you're getting used to that the central axis movement, by the E leads the chi and the chi leads the body. That mind and the central axis are the first things that initiate every single motion. If you're doing it another way, you're doing it back to default pattern A, which is press up against gravity and shove yourself through space. And so in Tai Chi, you can't be doing holding yourself up against gravity and moving in Tai Chi principles at the same time. They're two different things. Right? So when we say that's the definition of the posture, we call it 70-30 posture. And we can really quickly show that there's no object called weight that inherently exists. So there's no thing to actually divide. So it's not, I weigh 230 pounds, so 70% is, it's like, that's not how it goes. That's bullshit stuff. That doesn't exist. That's made up. What exists is there's one clear vertical flow. In my mind, this is a two-way street. So we have the gravity force coming down. Levity force is the light lifting energy returning up. It's one single vertical flow. And it passes effortlessly to your whole body. Right? And you relate to it. Now, you can hold it out here and make it sideways like a big blanket, and it'll press on you. That's gravity. If you turn it on its end and let it flow straight through, that's the central axis. It's still gravity. It's still the downward flow and the upward flow. Right, so you're just relaxing in between. So then, so when I say, I move it over to here, right, that's how I'm shifting. I'm shifting to 100%. I barely have to move my body at all, right? If at all. So I'm moving it on the inside. So when I stand into this posture where we're in our classic forward 70-30 shape, in my mind's eye, that slides over to where it's falling through this front fold of the hip. So in my mind's eye, the axle comes up to a certain level to where I feel that 70%. So I feel like, the vertical flow, 100% of that vertical flow energy is now 70% forward. So in my mind's eye, if it goes back, now it's filling into my back leg. Now it's back. There it's filling into the front leg. Now it's front. Sometimes you have to, if that doesn't work, just imagine your legs like giant urns of water. You're just slopping the water back and forth between one leg and the next. Right? But don't move. Right? No physical movements necessary. Pouring the urn into the back leg. Pouring the urn into the front leg. Vertical flow is the sensation of your weight. It's the weight feeling. There is no thing called weight that actually exists. Yeah, we have to strike a new deal with what that experience is in us. That's why I say that the whole first part of Tai Chi is changing a relationship between gravity and the earth. So once you really get on that, there is no object called weight that your body physically inherently possesses. Right? There's just an experience of the downward flow and the upward flow. Mostly for us, it's downward flow because we lock ourselves. Our upward flow becomes in this bound battle with the downward flow, and that's what we call our center. I got to hold my center of balance. Right? That's what creates that, is a struggle, a resistance. So in Tai Chi, we say, nope, not satisfactory. Not how it actually is. Right? So we go, if gravity's inherent nature is to flow downward, so yep, right through here, by all means, just through here. And then we go, once I get out of the way of that, then I can feel, there's something that goes back. So now I can feel that two-way exchange. So it's not any different. So then that's what I'm changing around in my mind. So once I'm here, I've already done it. This whole side of my body is free. That's why I say a single weighted central axis equals freedom of motion. So that's how you're doing it. That's so if I want to go here, so I can turn and step. Now I come out, I shift my weight up to here. Now I can turn on that axle, shift the weight back to here. So all 100%. Turn open, shift the weight, just turn back, shift the weight forward to 70, shift the weight back to 100, shift the weight back to 70, open, turning, relaxing. It's all the same thing. So one side's, the heavy part's always down, and the light part's always up. So what you're looking at then is your your hip folds. So when you're standing in that 70-30, right? So you got that top fold open and closed. You got the inside fold open and closed. If I sit back to 100, these things open. So the top fold here is open, here's open, these sides are open because it makes the body like a bowl. And this leg is just hanging out there, right? So then when I want to turn, I turn from this one single axle, right? This whole wheel rotates. So my nose and navel track and I fold into my hip. Now if my hip says you can only go this far without tweaking your knee, rolling your foot, doing something else, bending your body, twisting your upper body past your lower body, all those things are bad. Right? So we get all the way back in a nice alignment, then I can turn into my hip. I can turn this far. I can turn back. Then I come forward. That's how I want this alignment the whole way. And once I'm back here, I'm back. This is 100. I'm just hanging out. Part of the thing that happens is once you start letting the weight energy not stack on top of your hip, right, then the hip is looser. It's got more, you're not using it to hold you up. So if I'm, let's see, I'll stand this way so you can see some space. So I'm up here. So if I sit back and I get to here, and from here down stops moving, and I keep going, then I can get to 100 this way, but my leg is under a lot of strain, and I've lost my lower frame alignment. My knee is out from my foot, my hip is past my heel, everything's got to twist, and I got to hold myself up by bracing. All right, that's not it. Can't do anything with it, right? So here, when I go back, this opens up and stays aligned, so the vertical flow is allowed to pass through this side freely. Then all this area just surrenders. And so all this is soft and relaxed. Right? And then I'm free in this hip joint to turn. I can turn back. And I'm not changing this part at all. This part's not skating out past my heel. I'm good and free in 100. And everything's just song, 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 song. Relaxing. Heavy part's down there. When I move forward, just move it up to here. Now it's up here. I can turn again. Turn. Sitting back. Turning. As long as I keep this all together, I'm good. That's the fundamentals. that's if you can learn all that, you can learn any Tai Chi on the planet. It's all the same. But that's the juice right there.